Greetings, everyone. Today we're going to explore solving multi-step equations. For this lesson, you're going to need your book of solving equations notes sheet and the extra little sheet we have that says "Don't call me after midnight." Remember that as we go through lessons, when you see that pencil on the slide, that means there is something I'd like you to write down. All right, let's get started and open up our notes book. Remember, at any time, if you need to pause to catch up, please do so. Now, we've already explored solving two-step equations, and part of that involved adding and subtracting, and then multiplying or dividing. We're going to add a few steps. We're not going to use all 5 steps today, but we will in the future. So the first step we're going to take care of is distribute. If you have parentheses with a value in front of it, make sure to distribute it. Step 2, you want to combine like terms on each side of the equation. Meaning, if I have a bunch of x's on the left side, put them together so there's only one x on the left side. Step 3, we'll work on this in the future, but we're going to move variables. Step 4 and 5, you already know what to do. We're going to add or subtract a constant to the other side. And step 5, you're going to multiply or divide. Specifically today, I put a star by step 3 because we're not going to do that today. We will in the future. So step 4 and 5 are old news. Step 1 and 2 are what's new today. And so the acronym "Don't Call Me After Midnight" helps remind me of the steps orders. D is for distribute, C is for combine, M is for move, A is for add or subtract, M is for multiply or divide. In your notes book, we have a couple of examples we're going to work on together. Again, as always, I strongly recommend that you draw a line down the equal sign. It just helps us stay organized. Now, this particular example doesn't quite follow the steps orders. Because if I look, I've got this little +4 here. And I can't multiply everything by 4. I can't deal with the denominator. I can't deal with the 3 because there's stuff in the way. So instead of +4, I'm going to -4 to the other side. The 3x over 4 falls down, and I have a 6 on the right side. Now, remember this rule from before. If you have a division bar that takes up the whole side, instead of dividing by 4, we're going to multiply by 4. We're going to undo the operation. So when I do that, the 3x falls down, equals falls down, and I now have 24 on the right side. Your last step will always be the easiest because it's going to be the clearest thing to do. Instead of 3 times x, we're going to undo it by dividing by 3. Kind of ran out of room here, so take a look. The x would fall down, the equals would fall down, and 24 divided by 3 gets me to 8. As always, remember you can check your answer. So if you want to go back and plug in 8 for the x, you can see if it's true. So 3 times 8, we're going to use our PEMDAS rules, is 24. 24 divided by 4, and you don't have to write this out. I think you could use a calculator or just mental check, right? What do we got? 6 plus 4, and then combine, and we've proved that it is correct. All right, example 2 in your notes book. Now let's really implement those traditional steps. The first thing, think of it like PEMDAS, right? That P, if you have parentheses, there's something we got to take care of. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of step 1, and we're going to distribute. We distribute -2 to every term in the parentheses. So -2 times -w is 2w. -2 times +2w is -4w. Positive times negative is negative. 2 times 2, 4, and then you have a w. -2 times -3. A negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 3 is 6. Oops, and I forgot to bring down my line. That was step 1. Step 2 says combine like terms. Take a look at that left side. There's a lot going on one side. You have stuff to put together. Make it shorter. So I see if I have 2 w's and I subtract 4 w's, I'm at -2 w's. Everything else falls down, the +6, the equals, and the 30. Now we're to our previous lesson of just solving a 2-step equation. So next I want to add or subtract, and I'm going to subtract 6. The -2w falls down. I've got 24 on the right side. And my last step is to multiply or divide. I'm going to, instead of multiplying by -2, divide by -2. The w falls down, the equals falls down, and I have an answer of -12. Now these two did have nice clean answers, but you can have fractions. If you were to divide 23 by 2, right? Let's say that was your last step. That's okay. Just leave it as 23 over 2. Now, the next 2 examples are not in your notes sheet. So I need you to go to the next available space in your notebook after you have that glued in, and we're going to do example 3 and example 4. 2 more examples. We're going to hand write these. So start off by writing EX3. And then I'm going to have you write this equation. So pause the video if you need to. All right, so our first step is I'm going to draw a line down the equal sign. Step 1 says to distribute. I'm going to distribute. Be very, very careful here. This is why I made this extra example. We're distributing a -4. -4. If I distribute a -4 into parentheses, that means the 9 falls down, equals 45. Sometimes I like to bring those down first. -4 times +2 is -8x. -4 times -1 is +4. All right, just one thing at a time. The next step says combine like terms. Well, let's see, that left side's kind of long. I see a 9 and a 4. If I combine those positive values, I have a 13. The -8x falls down, the equals falls down, and the 45 falls down. Notice how I drew lines under what I'm combining? Next, we're going to add or subtract. I have a 2-step equation here. Be careful. This is a +13, so to kick it over, I need to -13. A positive and a negative go away. On the right side, we have 32, and the -8x falls down. That negative is attached to the 8, okay? It's always with the number after it. My last step is I'm going to multiply or divide. In this case, instead of times -8, we're going to divide by -8. The x falls down, and I arrive at a -4 for my solution. Again, you could double check. Let's just go through the mental math. If I was to plug in -4, Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. Negative 9 times negative 4 is 36. A 36 combined with a 9 gets me to 45. Quick check, and I'm confident in my answer. All right, this last example, please pause the video and write EX4 in your notebook and jot down the picture as well. I'll give you a moment to do that. All right, so hopefully you've paused and you've come back. We're going to write an equation and solve for x. And we're told, here's the information we're told, the area of the rectangle is 60 square units. Let's talk about this word area. Area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. So you have to remember that rule from your previous math classes. All right, well, they told me the area is 60. So instead of area of rectangle, we're going to fill in 60. Length. The length, well, let's see. The length that I see on my rectangle is 2x plus 4. Make sure you put that length in parentheses. The whole thing is the length. And then it says times the width. Well, I've got a width of 6. Now, if you flipped those two purple and blue around, you'd get the same thing. Multiplication's commutative. That's the toughest part of this problem, because now look, now we're just dealing with a regular equation. We're going to draw a line down the equal sign. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute. I'm going to distribute the 6 into the parentheses. 2x times 6 is 12x. 4 times 6 is 24. The equals falls down and the 60 falls down. Next step, I need to add or subtract. I have no like terms, so I'm going to subtract 24. That gets me to 36. The equals falls down, the 12x falls down. Keep following along. I know I'm running off the page a little bit here. Our last step, we need to multiply or divide. In this case, instead of times 12, we're going to divide by 12. The x falls down, and 36 divided by 12 is 3. Now, it's preferred. It doesn't matter mathematically. It's more of proper form, if you will. It is best to write your variable first. X equals 3 would then be my final answer. Now, take a snapshot in your brain of this problem, because you're going to see something just like it again soon. All right, those are our practice problems for today. As always, make sure you check Google Classroom for what your practice is. And just to clarify for in the future, if directions say combine like terms, and that's it, it doesn't say solve, then that's all you need to do. So just a quick example, in this case, if I'm combining positive 5x, positive 3x, positive 8x. And then I see a negative 9y and a positive 7y, that would be a negative 2y. So that's all I need to do. So read directions carefully. Are you asked to solve, or are you asked to combine like terms? Keep in touch. Let me know if you need anything. And until next time, have a good one.